Hey everyone, it's Ollie here, otherwise known as Ninja ONC, and I'm bringing you another video, as you can probably tell by the fact that you're currently watching it. As you may be able to tell from the title or description of the video today, as I just mentioned, you are watching, I'm going to be counting down the top 5 Precursor Cell missions in the Precursor Legacy that in my opinion don't really make much sense. They might have confusing concepts, really weird methods of completing it, they might be really pointless, anything like that. If you have any opinions regarding it, or maybe you just want to type some random other stuff, make sure to comment below. That's what the comment section is there for. I love seeing all your comments, even certain questionable ones, and I'll try and respond to them. So here we go. Number 5. Firstly, we have 2 power cells actually, obtained by activating the eco vents, the blue and yellow one to be specific, as they're the only ones you activate. So quite a few power cells lying around are in understandable situations, as maybe they were powering whatever they were next to, such as the Sage's prisons in Golem's Citadel, or maybe they were buried in the ground and then they were unearthed. But the 2 that are actually sat on top of the vents, I'm not entirely, the vent switches even, I'm not entirely sure how they got there. They're quite clearly not powering them, because as we know from the mission, you power the eco vent by standing on the button at the activator. And it's not like they could have been buried there, because there's a massive chunk of precursor technology sat underneath them. Not exactly a load of earth. I don't really know why they're there. They're not powering anything. They can't have just been left there and dug up. And even if they were, it would be such an amazing coincidence that they both happen to be on top of the eco vent. An entire 1/50th, which may not seem like much, but when you think about it, it's really not. But when you think about the amount of space in the game, that is actually quite a amazing coincidence for an entire 2 of the Precursor Orbs to be in those positions. So, I don't really understand that. What's your opinion? Why do you think you were there? Another thing that some people might say is that they were put there by the Precursors to guide Jak. But if they wanted Jak to turn the switch on, why don't they just do it themselves and save a whole lot of effort? Number 4. Next up, we have the mission, bring 90 orbs to the warrior. Those of you who just read the name of the mission may think, that makes as much sense as all the other missions where you buy a power cell, maybe from the geologist or your uncle or the mayor. But when you look into it, and the conversation that Jak and Daxter have with the warrior before the sale, there was never actually any mention of a power cell changing hands. The reason that you give the warrior the orbs was so that he would put the platforms out again, so that you could reach the swamp, and so that you could reach the big levitator machine from the Blue Sage. This one actually confused me when I played through the game a second time, as when I was about to give him the 90 Precursor Orbs, I was thinking, hang on, does this mission actually give me a power cell? Because as far as I'm aware, I'm certainly not buying one. I was quite surprised to then find out that I did, and it was that actually inspired this list. Thinking about it, if people are willing to give more than just a power cell for 90 Precursor Orbs, the cost that most other people charge, then Jak and Daxter really need to work on their bargaining skills. Maybe Daxter could have got his own pair of trousers long before the end of Jak 3. Number 3. Now we have the 4 power cells, and yes, I know this list kind of sounds like it was meant to be one each, but it's a group of them that kicked off the game. And these happen to be the power cells, as you could probably guess if you've played the game, in Geyser Rock. I have a couple of problems with these. Firstly, the ones that are just found lying around could either have been put there by Kira and Samos, or were gradually unearthed there. But if they were put there by Kira and Samos, I don't see why they would, even though they know they need to get 20 power cells to get across Fire Canyon, put 4, which is an entire 20%, which is actually a big percentage compared to the 2 from the number 5 position, in the hands of a brand new, well, in the hands of a character who apparently, the fact is a tutorial, doesn't know how to jump. And if they didn't put them there, I don't see why they wouldn't just go and get them, because it looks a lot like they knew they were there, or at the very least they could have just gone and got them, and then, I don't know, made Jak's tutorial something on Sentinel Beach to go and get stuff that they can't. The other problem that I have with it is the Scoutfly part of the missions, and how Kira seems really surprised to see that the Scoutflies have been captured, and says, "Oh yes, it must have been the lurkers." That was paraphrasing, so don't quote me on that. But there are actually no lurkers on Geyser Rock, so I don't understand what could have put them there, unless she's blaming the Precursor sharks that don't have arms or anything like that, and would most likely die if they were on land, or if the wooden dummy things that you kill in the quote-unquote combat tutorial are actually living. Maybe it's like Toy Story, they only move when you're not looking. Number 2. Our next confusing mission is the mission Chase the Seagull in Sentinel Beach. When I first played through the game, I read the mission title and expected the cell to be dropped from one of the seagulls. Maybe it was carrying it in its mouth like the big pelican did. Or well, maybe Jak wants to wash it before he picks it up. But no, apparently just a couple of dozen seagulls flying into and or past a cliff causes a huge boulder to come crashing down from the top. And not only did that very small amount of force knock a giant boulder loose, it is quite a small force, by the way, if you've ever seen a bird fly into a window. It's not like it smashes it or even leaves a dent. But this massive piece of rock they happened to pick loose contains a power cell. So what I want to know is, were they just really, really fortunate and happened to knock off the perfect position of rock to get that power cell? Or are there dozens and dozens of power cells hidden in that cliff that are buried there that still haven't been found? Because I feel like the game would have been not quite as fun, but a lot easier if you could just dig through there and find the 101 in the entire game. Number 1. So in our number 1 position, the most confusing power cell I find is the mission Free 7 Scoutflies, specifically the one in Sandover Village. Just the sheer concept of the mission, having 7 Scoutflies to go and free in Sandover Village, confuses me for several reasons. These reasons are kind of stages of each other, but what I want you to do, I want you to think about what actually really happened that caused the mission to be a thing. So first of all, Kira, the son of the Green Sage, the daughter of, I possibly assumed her gender incorrectly, the daughter of Samos the Green Sage, who everyone in the village, I would assume, trusts, is flying around what are essentially drones to look around this very small town, and some of them end up in people's houses, which I don't know about you, but if someone flew a drone with a camera into my house, I wouldn't be particularly alright with that. But that's not the weirdest thing. Neither is what I'm about to say. So, not only did these Scoutflies go into people's houses, but they stayed in those houses, which aren't very big, for long enough for lurkers, the nearest of which exist in the Forbidden Jungle and Sentinel Beach, which, considering how far down Sentinel Beach the lurkers actually are, it's quite a long way, managed to come into Sandover Village, into people's houses, capture the Scoutflies and put them in boxes, and then leave, either without the people of Sandover Village knowing, without the Sandover people, without the people of Sandover Village caring, or without them going and telling Samos and or the mayor, because they're kind of the people they should go and report to when they have highly dangerous creatures running around loose in the town. But as I said before, that's not even the weirdest part of this. The thing that makes it even worse is the fact that not only do the people of Sandover Village have drones in their houses, not only do those drones get captured by lurkers, but those people who live in the houses now have bright, shiny silver boxes with massive red panels on them, just like in the middle of their houses, and they haven't done anything about them. They haven't even moved them out of their houses. They've just left them there. And I don't see how that happens. If I woke up one day and there was, I don't know, lurker footprints in my house, there had been a drone in there, and there was now a big shaking box on my floor next to me, I'd be like, that wasn't there earlier. Maybe I should do something about that. I don't know about that. That might just be me and my weird human ways. But there you have it. Those are the 5 missions, well, I mean, technically 9 missions that don't really make much sense to me. What do you think about that? Do you agree? Do you think I'm horribly wrong? Do you have a drive to tell me something else? Make sure to comment down below. As I said earlier, that's what the comment section is there for. I love to see all of your positive feedback and constructive criticism, as well as the interesting conversations I've had with people about their theories and their responses to my previous videos. I do try hard as I can to respond to your comment, but I'm not going to respond if it's a stupid or rude, inappropriate, whatever comment, because I don't really feel like I should have to. So I'd also really appreciate it if you could consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with my future uploads. I've got many more videos coming out like this, and I've got more theories and fact videos and all sorts of things like that. And like and share if you want to. Maybe you have other people who might want to see this video. But for now, it's time for me to go. Thank you all so much for watching. See ya.